So it has been about 5.5 months since the beginning of the silver squeeze, and I'm sure the majority of you that are watching this video right now know what the silver squeeze is and don't need me to tell you, but just in case you're new to the channel or new to the community and new to silver stacking and don't know what it is, the silver squeeze was basically an attempt to squeeze the price of silver by buying physical and basically putting pressure on the physical supply of silver. In other words, this group from Wall Street Bets, which quickly turned into Wall Street Silver, got together with the goal of buying every ounce of silver they could get their hands on, and in turn, that meant that there wasn't going to be any silver for them to purchase. It was going to squeeze the price of silver up to what everyone believes that it should be. Now, initially, it did work. So what you saw happen right after the silver squeeze started, you did see supplies running out from all of the big online retailers. Local shops were out of silver as well. And on top of the fact that there was a little bit of a push in spot price, which is what silver trades for on the COMEX, additionally, the premiums for silver went sky high. You were paying originally $1.50 to $2 an ounce over spot, maybe less if you bought in quantity for generic rounds, maybe 4 to 5, maybe even 3 to 3.50 for silver eagles. You know, that went to like $7, $8 an ounce for rounds. That went to like $14, $15 an ounce for silver eagles. And so now that the physical supply is back, pretty much all online retailers have plenty of it. All of your local shops have plenty of silver, and there's no shortage of silver for anyone right now. You can get as much of it as you want. Now that everyone has it back in supply, in stock, the premium should have came back down, right? Not quite. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video, guys. We are going to do some research. We are going to go through a bunch of online retailer websites, and we're going to compare their prices and their premiums versus all the way back in February, March, last month, and even right now. And we're going to look at the numbers and see what actually has been happening to premiums over the last 5.5 months. So let's get into it, guys. Let's start digging and seeing what the premiums actually look like 5.5 months later after the silver squeeze, and see what we can find out. But before we do, guys, if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, make sure you go down below and subscribe if you like learning about silver stacking, gold stacking, and more. Additionally, don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any future video notifications. Okay, like I said, I already did the research. I got screenshots from all the websites showing you what the premiums look like today on July 13th, almost 5.5 months in. We're going to take a look at some websites that have their premiums listed, and we'll show you what we are looking at versus what we had in the past. Now, there's some other websites that may be cheaper right now. Maybe were cheaper back then, but unfortunately, I only have the historical data for these specific sites, and I have that historical data backed up on previous videos on this topic. So first up, we are looking at SD Bullion. Now, SD Bullion has silver for $4.49 an ounce over spot. Now, keep in mind, we are looking at the 1 to 19 ounce tier, and we are looking at the check and wire price. We're not looking at the extra that you pay for credit card or Bitcoin, etc., etc. But right now, if you were to buy 1 ounce silver rounds from SD Bullion, you can get them for $4.49 an ounce. Now, if we take a look at APMEX, they are a little bit higher with $4.79 an ounce for 1 ounce silver rounds. Again, 1 to 19 ounces at $30.93. And then on Providence website, they have them for $4.69. So they're right between SD Bullion and APMEX. So how does that compare to what they were a few months ago? Well, if we take a look at this, you can see that SD Bullion started out February 1st at $7.67 over spot. In March, they dropped it to $5.48. In June, they dropped it to $4.77. And then today, they are as low as they've been since February 1st at $4.49 over spot. You have APMEX starting at $6.99, dropping to $5.99 to $5.49. And then they made a pretty significant drop down to $4.79 since last month on June 11th. And then Provident, you can see they were at $5.65 on February 1st. I think they just were kind of behind on updating their premiums when I did that video, because they actually went up to $5.83 come March, and then back down in June to $5.29, and now they are $4.69, which, like I said, is right there between SD Bullion and APMEX. And again, before you say in the comments that there may be other websites that are cheaper, I'm aware. In fact, at the end of this video, I did look and found the cheapest online price for silver rounds, and I'll show you that when we get to the end of the video. But as you can see, the premiums are down but they're not anywhere near what they were pre-silver squeeze. So again, pre-silver squeeze, I don't have exact data, but I specifically know you could buy 1 ounce silver rounds for $1 to $1.50 to $2, depending on the amount that you bought, the quantity that you bought them in, and of course the different websites. So as you can see, even though all of the online retailers have plenty of supply in stock, I mean, every one of these you could buy hundreds or thousands of ounces from right now and get it shipped immediately. The premiums are certainly not where they used to be, and that, unfortunately, I think it's just taking too long to get those numbers down. It's kind of like, if you think about, it's like a government when they impose a new tax, and then their new tax, they impose it for whatever reason. Maybe it's to fund something like a war. Well, the war's over and everything's back and peaceful. Tax is still there. Why? Because the government got used to that extra money, and they don't want to give it up. I think that's what's going on. Now, I'm not saying it's specifically any of these retailers doing that. It could be on the other end, maybe the people who actually, create this and press it and ship it out to these guys. Of course, APMEX does press their own silver in-house. So honestly, I don't really have an answer for you as to who's at the top keeping the premium staying up. But I do know that they are way higher than they should be, given that we are seeing plenty of silver in the market today. So next up on the charts, we are going to have Silver Eagles. Now, same as Silver Rounds, we're only using the websites that we had data on going back to February 1st. There may be better deals out there. Feel free to share in the comments below if you know of a better deal than what we have here. Again, right now we're really just looking at the premium, so let's go ahead and get into it. So coming in first, we have APMEX. And they are definitely the highest. They're still selling Silver Eagles at $12.99 over spot. Now notice we are looking at the 1-19 check and wire price. There are significant discounts as you buy in bulk. Coming in number 2, we have JM Bullion at $10.95, so over $1 cheaper than what APMEX was selling them for the same exact product. Well, not necessarily the same exact product, because JM Bullion's cheapest Silver Eagle is the Type 2 Silver Eagle. And I don't care if we're looking at Type 1s and Type 2s. It's still a Silver Eagle. We're just looking at the cheapest Silver Eagles that we can get. Now, keep in mind that these are showing on pre-sale, but they're only 2 days out, shipping on the 15th. That was close enough for me to count that as in stock for them, because generally your order's not going to ship for a day or two anyway. And then finally, and cheapest, we have SD Bullion once again at $10.49 over spot for the 1-19 price. So if we look at the numbers here, we have SD Bullion coming in cheapest at $10.49, JM at $10.95, and then APMEX is way up there at $12.99. Now, if you look at SD Bullion back in February 1st, they are now finally below where they were February 1st, but they actually hit that in March as well. So as you can see, SD Bullion went from $10.79 down to $9.59, and then that may have been a sale, so I don't know for sure, but then back up to $11.89 and now down to $10.49. APMEX, on the other hand, goes from $11.99 to $13.99, back down to $11.99, and now up to $12.99. So their prices have actually increased over the last month. And then JM Bullion went from $10.64 down to $8.99. Again, it may have been a sale, but I don't know. Back up all the way to $14.09 in June. That was insane. I don't know why. And then back down to $10.95 right now. Now, it's possible that JM Bullion was just completely sold out in June of their cheapest Silver Eagles, but all I did at that time was look for the cheapest ones that they had in stock available for ship within a couple of days, just like I did with them today. So as you can see, again, the premiums are definitely down for the most part, but they're nowhere close to where they were pre Silver Squeeze February 1st. Again, before then, you were looking at $4 Silver Eagles, maybe $3.50 if you bought in quantity. Now you're looking at $10.49, $10.95. The premiums are way higher than they used to be. So what does all this mean? Well, I mean, like I said when I was talking about silver rounds, it's kind of like the government imposing a new tax because there's a war, the war's over, and then they get used to the tax, they get used to the money from the tax, they don't want to give it up. And I think that's kind of what's going on right now with some of the wholesalers. And unfortunately, especially local shops are really suffering because they have to deal with the fact that when they go out and they buy silver at wholesale, they're paying a much higher premium for it than they're used to. And they do have to pass that on to the consumer. That's just the way it works in pretty much any market. I do think the premiums need to come down. I think the supply is plentiful. I don't think there's a silver shortage at all. I think the attempted silver squeeze is basically over. There's still a lot of people really excited over on Reddit, and that's fine. And I'm glad people are getting in the silver stacking because, like I've said in the past, I think people should be stacking silver as long as it's for the correct reasons. You know, I don't think they should FOMO into it, for example. Don't worry about it being, oh, it's going to be the next AMC or GameStop. They're going to miss out on making millions of dollars because they didn't buy silver in time. I don't know. I don't know really what's going to happen right now, but I do know that the premiums are way, way, way too high for the fact that there's so much silver in plentiful supply on the market. There's no silver shortage, and there's plenty of it out there for you to order. So feel free to keep on waiting if you think the premiums are going to continue to come down. Just keep in mind that if you think spot's going to go up, it might be better to buy silver today at 26 plus 4 than waiting till it hits 30 and then paying 30 plus 2, because at that point you're paying 32 an ounce instead of 30. But that's up to you to decide what you think silver's going to do. I'm not going to tell you either way because I don't know. If I had a crystal ball that told me what silver was going to look like tomorrow, I'd be a millionaire on a beach, and you would see me, instead of sitting here, you'd see me sitting on a beach or something. But so finally, guys, like I said earlier, I did promise you that I went online and I found the cheapest 1 ounce silver rounds that are available online right now, and I want to share that with you. And that is silver gold bull. Now, if you notice, they have it $3.92 over spot for the 1 to 19 ounces, of course, with wire or check. But keep in mind that there's an asterisk next to that number, and I want to say why. If you take a look at their price, it's $29.95 with them having spot at 26.03 at the time that I took the screenshot. But if you were going to buy this in any sort of quantity, so let's say you wanted to get 100 ounces of silver, it would actually be better just to go all the way back to SD Bullion, because if you look at SD Bullion, they had it 100 ounces, they had it at $29.71, whereas Silver Gold Bull had it at $29.87. So basically what Silver Gold Bull has here is they're giving you the volume discount no matter how much you buy, which I think is awesome. But you know, once you get into the higher volumes, you actually get a better deal all the way over at SD Bullion. In fact, if you buy 500 ounces or more, it's $29.61 versus $29.83, which is about 22 cents difference. So something to keep in mind as well when you're looking at that is they do have the best price if you're buying 1 to 19, but that best price gets significantly less as the amount that you buy goes up, because that that bulk discount goes down. So there you go, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you are new to the channel, if you like videos like this, if you like learning about silver stacking, gold stacking, and more, don't forget to go down and make sure you're subscribed, because over half the people that watch this channel are not subscribed yet. I would definitely appreciate it. It really supports the channel to hit that button. So thank you so much for doing so. And that being said, we will see you in the next video. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I did leave a video above you can check out if you haven't seen it yet. I also want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to my awesome channel supporters scrolling right there on the right hand of the screen. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.